going to move over to the agenda slide. Without any formal welcomes, I'd like to turn it over to Assistant Governor Jane.
Oh, thank you, Bala. The reporting, was that what you had filled out in the stuff that I got in an email? Bala? So I know what the phase 1 and 2 report out is. Okay. This is the results of phase 1 when we put all the groups together, what the strategic goals were. And I've also kindly put all the group members, and he's got them by groups in here. When I looked at these, I realized that there's a majority of these are all membership focused goals. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes, I think that's actually true.
Okay. So that's going to be important when we move on through the process of one of the strategic goals that we will break out into actions, action steps and resources that we would need to complete those action steps. And that will be phase 3 when we get to phase 3. Let's see. Then when we move to phase 2, develop a vision. What do we want our club to look like? And we talked about these strengths, weaknesses, characteristics, opportunities and challenges that we might have, or threats. When I look at these, a lot of these also, when you're developing this vision statement, look to membership again. Vibrant club, a fun club, keeping people engaged, diverse age groups. And then fundraising seemed to be a major concern we really wanted to improve on. So when I looked at this, I put membership as the first focus, and then
Hey Jane, I lost you for a minute. I don't know if anybody else, but there's a lot of noise in the back.
There's nothing happening here on my end that would cause static.
I think it got better.
Okay. Is that better now? Just shake your head. I can see you.
Yes.
Okay. So then after we went through these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, the next phase was to come together, build a vision statement for the Troy Rotary. And then if we look at the next slide, Bala, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We highlighted, we had a meeting, Bala, I think it was Kevin and Roma and I talked about combining the things that came out as the strengths, things that wanted to be priorities. And so as we looked at these 3 vision statements, they pretty much took everything that had gone before into these 3 statements. And then we said, okay, how can we build a vision statement from this? So we took the yellow highlighted parts and came up with a draft, a vision statement. And there it is. And I'm sure you've all got a copy of this, right? Okay. So if we want to make some changes, or you think we need to start over, I guess, this statement is gonna, whatever we come up with, is gonna drive how we make our plan and how do we achieve this vision and start to set some goals for Troy Rotary, and that will be phase 3 where we be at. So any questions on this statement or input?
I have a question, it's Eileen. I'm just zeroing in on the word everlasting. I'm not sure about the word because a lot of what we do is food for the day for the kids that are backpacks and other things. Does that mean everything is everlasting, or what does it mean in there?
Have a continuing lasting impact on communities and the international community.
Eileen, I had exactly the same question. I know what they're thinking about, but I think the word continuing captures the spirit of what we're looking at better than the word everlasting.
Okay.
I would agree with that as well.
I would like to add a concept associated with lasting as opposed to everlasting, but lasting. You will find out that any young people who have been significantly influenced by something in Rotary, whether it's a student exchange program or even a meal in the summer camp, when they really realize it was Rotary, there is a lasting impact. And it shows when it comes out, when the children get older and they become young adults or even young professionals, and they come back to a Rotary group and a Rotary club and say, oh, I was, that's lasting.
Good point, Dave. I think lasting is as good and probably better than continuing.
I like it too.
Okay. That's a small change to make.
So Don has a statement in the chat room. Look at that. That's another idea.
Okay. Oops. In the chat room. Oh.
I like your thought, Don. I don't know if it's ever increasing once it lasts. I kind of like back to Don's or Dave's idea, but this is good also. What do you guys think?
I think lasting will be easier for us to measure and easier for us to market, and I think it reflects pretty well what we're trying to talk about.
Yeah, compared to the second one is compared.
So just lasting impact is what you want to stay with?
I can. So this is the one in question. And what did we all agree on?
Lasting.
Oh, come on. That's an easy one. But my mother also told me that in order to having good English, it cannot be an and, it has to be a.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that is correct. Your mother was smart.
Plus, I have Roma, who's even smarter.
I guess the ideas and things that came up, do you think this statement best captures the total vision that you guys wanted to get to?
I think it's a very good vision statement.
I like it too.
Yep.
All right. That's easy. It rolls off the tongue pretty easy too.
It's short enough that we can put it on one poster.
Yep.
And that is important. If it's too long, people can't remember it.
So there's one more question in that. The last part says an impact on our local and international communities. Does that mean there's some that aren't ours? The word
Take out
our.
the word our and just put local and international.
Yeah.
You are all making it very easy for me just to take it out and not add. So that's good.
Okay.
I think those 20 words says an awful lot. Just like
I think we have some teachers on this call correcting the grammar.
If I may, any reason why we wouldn't want to put regional in there?
local or local, regional, and international. Well, that's, you know, where do you want to have the influence of Troy Rotary? Do you want to do international projects? Do you want to do local projects? When you say regional, what does that mean to you?
We lead a pretty good Team Turkey project that's, you know, among how many clubs? It's not just Troy, it's Southeast Michigan, right? So there's that. And then we also, well, I think that's probably our best example. And I just throw that out there just because, you know, when we think local, we truly think Troy and the, you know, immediate surrounding areas. We Pontiac, we help out with the I'm forgetting the name, Hope Warming Center. But if we want to include that, I mean, I just throwing that out for discussion real quick.
I believe often in Rotary, they talk about local and global, and I think it is interpreted to be local, kind of everything that's right around your area, your region, your state, your whatever, and global, of course, is all around the world in all the other countries. So I think it's almost like local becomes shorthand for everything that's right here around us.
And I like to change international to global. I like that word.
I agree with you, Dave. I was just thinking the same thing.
I like the word global.
Agree.
Okay, Bala.
Can Bala do that? I mean, it's a very difficult job.
I'll try.
He's
I don't know. He
double-tasking.
probably can't spell global, so it's okay.
If
No,
I did
I'm the
that, my mother will come back from her cremating ashes and kill me.
Well, she knows you're trying to do a good thing.
Linda, I'm the architect. I can't spell anything.
I can't spell anything either. So. I'm the one that teaches kids to spell by saying my spelling's so bad that, you know, I can really help you because I know what to do if you can't spell.
Yes.
What were you saying?
Sorry
Okay.
about. Okay.
All right. So is there any other thing, or can we move along and say this is going to be the accepted vision statement?
Bala, my video has stopped. Is there anything you can do, or should I just get out and come back in again?
You should hang in there and let me see if I could. I've asked you to start your video and it should start. If not, you should go in and come back. There you are. You're back. So
I can't see anything, but okay.
we can see you. So is there any other changes to this vision statement, or can we accept and move forward?
Move forward.
Move forward.
All
Move
right.
forward.
Okay, Jane, I'll give you the next slide then.
Okay, so in this phase, we're going to look at our priorities, and there's a lot of them that are in that vision statement, there might be a couple that aren't as obvious, but this is where we need to start setting some strategic priorities. And then we can develop some goals yearly, some action and how to accomplish those goals. There are a lot of resources on Rotary.org that will help us in those areas. And then member assigned to each of those priorities, and then a timeline. So that pretty much lays out how your goals are going to look. And again, I think membership has kind of been the focus of a lot of the discussion that we've had before. But this is up to you to identify what priorities. Okay, Bala kind of summarized them, and I think if, at least to me, when I looked at it, I would say most of them deal with membership in some way, retention, recruiting, engagement. And then there was the fundraising, which probably you can think of that as how do you pay for the projects you do, and maybe Rotary Foundation giving could come under that. The youth leadership, which I think it was the last one, I didn't know how you might want to classify that, but everything else, even public image, I think might kind of address membership. But what are your feelings? Because it's your plan.
If I may add, Jane, I reached out, as I shared earlier, to some of the champions. For example, Michael Ball is on the call here. And I said, Michael, here are the 6 priorities, and what do you think? And these were, by the way, done independently. But the beauty is the both converge together. And Michael, if you would like to elaborate on that, please.
I'm sorry, Bala. I'm not sure what you want me to.
Okay, what I was talking about is I had sent you 4 on this line and 6, the other two are the Rotaract and the Interact. So out of 6 priorities, you said I would choose the 4, and those 4 happens to be on this PowerPoint, like fundraising amount, like updating website, and some of the other ones. So that's what I was referring to.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know what you want me to. I'm
you
sorry.
Want to add something to what you already said. That's what I was asking. In your email that you had indicated that you think those 3 or 4.
Yeah. So in the email that you and I exchanged for the group, we were talking about. I'm bringing that up right now. Should have had that up. So for when we're talking about fundraising, this you're talking what you're talking about, Bala, fundraising. Yes, okay. So for a goal for fundraising amount and fundraising events, if we just break it down, the fundraising amount, to follow those SMART, that's the acronym SMART as far as goals, specifically for next year, how much money would be our goal be to collect via fundraising for the next Rotary year? And along that, what is our goal and how many events or projects, fundraising events or projects, would we need to have in order to accomplish the goal? So I guess Bala, you're asking for some discussion here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I would open up to the folks here.
So I think the purpose of this slide, just as a reminder, is these are, at least high-level goals. And then underneath each one of these goals, each of the leads have to take this and break it down even further. And so just to carry on your thought about fundraising, Michael, I think, you know, the big target is we need money, right? We need money for events, for charities, for everything we do in our club. We need some level of fundraising, right? So that's the higher level goal. So underneath that, what does that mean? Is it 1 event? Is it 10 events? Is it, you know, what is it membership drive? What exactly does it mean to get to that amount? So I think the first step is these higher level goals. And then the second step is for you to take these and get the initiatives to get to that amount. Are you in agreement?
I am, but again, I think that of course we want to make money, but is our goal to raise $1,000, $10,000, $100,000? Where are we in that range? And then let's just say it's going to be around 30 to 40 grand.
Right.
What steps do we need to take? What projects do we need to have? What events do we need to put on in order to get to that goal? So
exactly.
It's a high level, but then we got to, you know, fundraising, we got to raise funds. Well, what does that mean for this club? I think it's, you know, it's more than, you know, 5 grand, but it's less than 100, at least where we are right now.
Right. And I think working with Kevin or working with the finance people, I think that's possibly how we work backwards on that is, you know, we have a gap of certain amount, plus we need this much to support our initiatives. So maybe that's how we develop the goal. And by the way, we also need to increase a net membership because we need the money from that as well. But specifically just fundraising, I think that would be it. But again, I think the goal, so we had a list of like 30 some items. There was probably 10 items under each, or maybe more than 5 items under each thing here. But looking at the higher level goals, I think we wanted to keep this at a high level, and then the second page and third page behind these would be the detail of how to get to that high level, whether it's the number of events or frequency or whatever it may be. And I would say the same thing for membership as well for me.
So I guess my question is, among us who are in this meeting, how many have 10 years or more of service organization fundraising experience? I don't have all the pictures. How many are in this meeting? 12?
15.
15.
13. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I have more than 12. Don has more than 12. I'm sure Michael doesn't have 10. Right, Michael?
Correct. I have about 5.
Mm-hmm. So I think the goal can be as simple as, and over 35 years of experience, if we can reach a goal of 30 to 40,000 each year by 1 or 2 or 3 events, fewer the better, fewer events the better. I think that's a nice goal. And we can do a lot of things with 30 to 40,000. If we only get 25, we only get 21 or 19, I think we're still in a very good ballpark. So for this thing called fundraising, I'm going to recommend the goal be 30 to 40,000. For membership, I think the goal should be 50 to 60 or 60 to 70, 75. And then what are the other broad stroke category of goals as Roma has outlined for us before we get into the detail of how to make money in fundraising, how to increase membership in activity.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So my recommendation is our goal is 30 to 40,000.
Can we make it 40?
Who is that? Is that you, Don?
Yeah, can we just make it 40,000?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything you want. I'm game.
Is that really?
Well, and then when you start getting into the detail, you may have to think that it overlaps into next year or whatever. But until you come up with a goal, you don't really know where you're going. So yeah, 40,000 is as good as any.
So before, I'll add this, but I have a process question for Jane. Is this the time when we break the group, the bigger group into smaller breakout rooms, Jane?
You want? I didn't know how many people, I couldn't tell exactly how many people
We
were on
have
it.
13 right now.
Okay. Break it up. Probably this would be where we could start, breakout session could start coming up with things, and then we can compare when the groups get back together.
So what is the assignment for the breakout groups? Do they take this sheet and come back with a more refined set of goals and resources needed? Is that what the expectations are?
Yeah, because we need to start to ferret out some details here in the next phase.
So if I may suggest, can we do slide 9 as a group and then break out into groups to go into a little bit of more of the details? Only because, for example, youth leadership, what does that mean? I honestly don't know. So I'd have no input into that, for example, but I'm sure somebody on the phone does. Public image, we can come up with some numbers, but it almost seems like we've got so much variety on the call right now. I don't know. What do you think?
What about the third column there, member assigned? That seems like that will, I can look through here, and from conversations we've had, I can almost, I think, almost fill in that third column, member assigned. I think we've had discussions about who's interested in these different parts. Right, Paula?
Yes, sir. So you want to start with that? We can complete that column first. And then go to what Chroma suggested.
Yeah, in strategic plan, should that be you and Michael?
Okay.
Next two presidents?
Okay.
And membership recruitment, that's speaker best of the best series. That's Michael Caruso, correct?
Well, it's Dan. Hi, Dan. You're on the line, right? It's Dan, yes. And then the food for thought is Michael.
Right.
I sure am.
Dan and Michael C.
Michael B.
Yeah, Michael B on the first one. Oh, on this fundraising?
Yep, he's also fundraising. And then membership is me, but it obviously involves everybody. So just so you know, for membership, the reason there's so many memberships here, I don't know if you guys recall, but can I share my screen for a second?
You can share your screen always, not just for a second.
I just need it for a second. So just as a reminder, so that we're all on the same page, because I don't know if everybody was there at the first meeting, but we talked about membership, really the life cycle of membership. Everything we do in the club falls into one of these triangles, right? I mean, we start out with recruiting a member. We want to develop that member. And Dawn, that's where I think you're taking the lead on in terms of development, leadership training, making sure they have the access to or not the access, but the knowledge on the RI website, etc. And then engaging members, and that's through all the service projects and through all the polio. Everything that we do here is engagement of members. And measurement of that can be done in this triangle as well. And it also is part of the leadership training, and the food for thought is really between the develop and engage phases. And we also want to retain the members, and we need some way of measuring that. So if we look at this, almost everything we do in the club relates to membership, right? So when we look at when Bala put that the couple of categories relating to membership, You know, I almost look at this, John, as you taking the lead on the development phase of it. Dan and all the service people, Eileen and Dave, are taking the service role where they're engaging members, the membership moments, etc. That's all part of engaging and retaining members. Does that make sense to everybody?
Absolutely.
Now the items in here will change. This is something that I've been working with the district people on, but each club is going to have their own set of what's in these boxes. And I think that's where, when we start working towards initiatives, we can clean this up and really put some initiatives into these squares here. But, you know, the life cycle of membership is what keeps our club going, right? I mean, the goal is at the end of the day to keep our members happy, engaged, and wanting to spread the word of Rotary and our club to everybody else.
Right on, Roma.
So, okay, Bob, if you want, I'll stop sharing, and if you want to go back to yours, but that's where it's all the membership rows are there because of that reason.
So put me, David, in fundraising with Michael.
Thank you, David.
Is there, if you end up in two categories, can you end up in two categories? And if you do, how do you do two simultaneously? The Rotary Foundation has always been at the heart of my commitment to Rotary.
Yeah,
And that's related to fundraising.
yeah.
I would almost say the foundation and polio and some others that are on here are part of fundraising.
Wasn't that Sam? Sam and David?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, are you on mute?
Sorry. I was going to say on Polio Plus, Madam President has shown keen interest and led the club. So I wanted to ask if she would like to be part of that. Linda is on mute now. Okay.
Okay.
Linda, you're on mute.
Now, am I mute or not mute?
Now
You're unmuted.
Unmuted.
Okay. Okay. Yes, polio to me is a part of fundraising, and I would be on that group.
Okay. We had started some engagement with Rotary, so wanted to see if that's something we still want to make it as a priority for this coming year.
I believe there should be a priority for engaging younger members, and I think that would then include the youth exchange. It would include RILA. It would include Rotary, Interact. Any of this might be under that umbrella. But just engaging younger and engaging younger members.
So young professionals. Sorry, go ahead.
Dr. Gupta, I'm working with a Rotary from the other district. I'm very, very close with him. He was working with me, and he can probably, this kid has some ideas. A lot of good work he has done Rotary with the other district in Detroit. So I can get him involved and see how, yeah, this kid is from Kenton. He's doing very well in the other club, but he's willing to help.
Are you talking about Devankar?
Yeah. Yes, Devankar, I know for the last 4 years. Yeah.
Yep, he's been. Yep, he's a good resource for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm in touch with him regular basis, so I can get him involved.
Now, Sue McGonigal had talked about reviving the Rotaracts that are there at Athens High School. You may want to put her name down as well.
But that's
we ran into a wall. The Athens High School is not interested.
Okay, but I mean, at least, I mean, I think she'd shown him some interest.
Yeah, because,
so
you know.
Yeah.
I believe that, yes, Sue is very interested, but I think we have to think more broadly than just Athens High School. I think we need, I know Michael Ball was thinking about something that would be college age and older, and, you know, essentially expanding what we were thinking about.
Okay,
Agreed.
so there are two things on the table. One is interact, and I put it that under the youth leadership with Sue M. And here we have young professionals. In fact, I'm going to take that out there and put it here. Because that fits. So who would take on the lead for young professionals?
I thought you had Jacob already on that.
Okay, we'll put that Jacob there. And Ashok, you're going to talk about, you're going to lead about Rotary.
I won't be leading, but I'll talk to Sue. I'll get this guy involved, and I could be just a co-leader or something in that area, because I don't go to Troy that much. But
all right.
Involved. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Should Jim Adams be part of that youth leadership because
yeah,
of
Jim has agreed to be part of the youth leadership.
Yeah,
right.
because of Rilo?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I talked to him and he has agreed to take that on in addition to his district role.
So Dr. Gupta, I don't know if you know, but Michael Caruso is Devankar's mentor.
Oh yes, I know all about. I mean, I'm in touch with him all the time. Yeah. But,
okay. Good.
I know the family. I almost every week, twice a week, I talk to him.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to.
Moving back to public image, online presence.
So Michael, are you still doing that?
So I'm happy to help out, but I think we talked about, maybe it was you and I, Bala, regarding updates to the website. I'm happy to do that, and creating some graphics here and there. What I would need, I don't feel comfortable taking the lead as far as public image, because in order to really make an impact or not spread myself too thin in helping out, whatever's needed to be updated on our club website, I would hope I would get all of the information, not just, Michael, can you create this? I would need some specific parameters that people are looking for and the actual content they want to include, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I talked to Claire Weber. For those of you who know, Claire Weber used to run a newspaper, and she's agreed to take on the role of a newsletter and bulletin editor, as well as help with the content. So for now, we'll just put that here, and online presence, we'll need to work through the details because it requires a lot more than one person. I agree with Michael.
So
okay,
does it make sense, Kevin, for you to be part of fundraising as well?
How, in what capacity?
Helping direct needs for the funds, as well as you're also doing the Troy Foundation, right?
Right.
So
I suspect I'll be doing that anyways, so whether my name's there or not.
you might as well put Kevin's name next to fundraising as well then, to help guide the needs.
So the engagement, do we want to put that back up somewhere with the other members, or is that separate?
Was that you, Eileen? I'm sorry, you broke up.
No, that was Jane.
Oh, Jane, I'm sorry. Okay.
I see that membership engagement and membership development, they got moved down here. No, okay.
I'll be on number 8.
Yes.
What about, I think Anna has already committed to lead the service membership engagement on for the service project. She could not make it today because her daughter-in-law and a granddaughter are visiting from Alexandria, Virginia. She wanted to spend quality time with them.
Where's her priorities?
Should service projects be a strategic priority, or were they just not rated that high? Because it seems like I'm looking at this that, well, we want to get some more members, so we'll do service projects, and hopefully we'll get members in because of that.
No, I think it's a big part of the vision statement, right? I mean, we're talking about doing service projects. It just happens to fall into engaging members, but it can stand out on its own, just like public image did.
How was that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now do you want Bowen to break out into 2 groups or however many groups you have planned to look at the actions and the resources you need in a timeline to finish this one out?
Right. And so Jane, what is it that we want? So now that each group will have this, do we want them to come back and add details here? Or how do we want them to do that, or here?
Okay. Well, that's where you put the goals.
Right.
And what's the review plan? How are you going to know how close you've come to meeting your goal? Have you exceeded it? You will need to work on it. So that goes back to the goal. Did we put anything? What did we put on that last slide under goals?
We didn't.
Okay, well, we have. This is, I think, where we actually got to put some detail.
Jane, we are unable to hear you.
That the next sheet, which when you went to phase 4, is where you then review. If you reach your $40,000, how are you going to know? I mean, well, dollar-wise coming in, you'll know that one pretty well. But some of the other ones that you've identified, how are you going to know your progress? And I think that's what this sheet right here is all about. Going back to the phase 3, actions, when you say fundraising, then you got to put in, okay, how many fundraisers do you think we want? I mean, if we're going to raise that $40,000, how do we do it? That's the action. Is it getting sponsorships for events? Is it events? Is it just where's the money going to come from? I mean, your district, the treasurer there, maybe he's got extra money, right, Kevin?
So my perspective is, I thought when putting the names, members assigned to these categories of the strategic priority and annual goals, we would break out into these small groups and we would come back with some information to present to everybody. Right. So are we trying to do this one category at a time, or are we going to break down into groups? If we're going to do it one category at a time, all of us together, let's start at the top or start at the bottom. The bottom always gets the last
I
short
think
change.
it's the latter part, David, that when you mentioned to break it up into smaller groups and assign those people. So 1 through 4, one group takes it, or if that's what they want, and 5 through 9 or 5 through 8, somebody else takes it, as long as they're in this group.
So,
but Bala, I'm not sure we would know all the goals. That was my point earlier, is I think this page, if we do the higher level goals based on combined club knowledge, and then the members assigned take that lead and develop initiatives that go underneath all those, right? And
Okay,
come back on June 25th and present those. I thought that was, I mean, maybe I misunderstood, but
No, you're right. We have to do two things. One is agree on a group, maybe spend the next 5 to 10 minutes on the goals. Like we already said, fundraising in 40,000. Strategic plan, all it means is yes or no. Speaker, best of the series, those are the things, and then club membership, etc. We should go through and agree on certain, like we said, large or higher goals, and then break it into groups. That does make sense?
yeah. And under line 4, can you add one other item? Community outreach. Didn't you reach out to Kamal and Jeannie to do the community outreach under membership?
And Ashok.
And Ashok, okay.
Okay.
And also, aren't these, when you think about these goals, aren't these supposed to be like a 4 to 5 year time frame too, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
So not just next year, but
no, 3 to 5. Where you want to be in 3 to 5.
right.
Okay. Okay, so let's start with, is everybody okay with the first one as either strategic planning, either it is there or not there?
Yes, it's there.
Okay. And
I would add, how many years are you going to refresh and renew and revisit the strategic plan? It should be annual or updated how often?
how about update every 2 years? Is that okay?
That's fine.
okay.
Update in 2 years. Okay. Next is speaker best of the best series. Well, let's do this one. This one is the easier one. Michael Cruz has already said he's going to have 4 Food for Thought Excellence events.
Right, 4 per year.
4 per year, right. And we'll come back to the speaker best of the best because there are a couple of other things that we complete which will kind of lend itself to some triggers there.
Well, unless Dan has some thoughts on that, Bala.
Oh, I didn't see Dan. Is he back now?
Yep, I'm here. No,
good, Dan.
I think that's fine. Yep, I already talked to Michael. I think the 4 will be perfect, and I think it falls in line with what we've been talking about for the speakers all year. So nothing more to add than that.
But also, Dan, are you also following the RI calendar, so to speak, with membership focus in August, polio focus, I think, is it October? The themes will be related to those, though, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm working with Bala, Michael, and Larry as well. I appreciate that Larry is going to be helping me out this year moving forward as well, just with my travel schedule. But yes, my goal and plan is to fall in line with the Rotary International calendar and to try to garner speakers that will fall in line with what the perspective or the different topics are for those times.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's also Michael Caruso's focus as well with the best of the best series.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dan. What about, so we're moving, we didn't bypass, we already set a goal for fundraising. What about membership?
So membership, I think that we said Currently, we're at 53 members, I think, Linda, or 54. And I believe last time we said a net of 9 new members per year.
55 as of today.
Okay. So I think that we were setting a goal, but I like Michael Ball's idea last time of net new members, and I think we said 9 new members per year.
I think that's a reasonable goal, because as we know, we do lose members every year, no matter what, though not people that wanted to leave, but just that left.
Let's do 10 and make it an even round number.
So a net 10 will get us to 105 by the end of 2025.
Something like that, yeah.
That was our long-term goal, I think.
Right.
Okay.
And out of those, we need to determine how many should be young professionals. Is that what the thought is there? Or is young professionals have their own goal?
If we can break it down to that granular level of detail, that'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to take a try at least coming up with some targets so there's some reach. So it's not open-ended. Pardon?
What do we consider a young professional?
Somebody
35
like
and younger. 35 and younger. Or actually 34 and younger.
Just ruled me out there.
You've got the professional category. Don't worry, Gail.
So,
there's
Roma,
that.
how many do you want to put in there?
Honestly, I don't have a feel of what it is today, but let's say, I don't know, does 10% of the goals sound reasonable? I have no feel for it.
20 to 30%.
Oh, 10 is too low. 40%.
Oh, yeah, put a goal there and we'll work the initiatives and see what makes sense.
So can someone give me a
40% is
number?
high, but I'll go with it.
Which one?
The young professionals, 40% is fine. Out of the club membership percentage. So 40%.
I can't do the math. So what is the number? Give me a number.
4.
4. If you're saying 10, that it's easy.
Okay.
He is kidding.
I have a question. Are we looking for retired people to join, or are we looking for people who are active to join the lunch club?
Say that again, Dr. Gupta?
I said a lot of clubs, with a couple of other clubs I've seen. I mean, are we looking for retired people from profession, or those who are semi-retired, or those who are still active in the club for the lunchtime? Because
I think
meetings at lunchtime.
I think we need to look. Oh yeah, I was just going to say we need to look everywhere. We also need to look at the diversity of thinking within the club, as well as the different professions. So we need to look at all different categories, but definitely looking at all age groups.
Okay.
That could be part of your 10, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So one of the, unless somebody, can I say something on the community outreach?
Sure. So
one of the things I've had some initial conversation with Jeannie and Kamal and Ashok, we'll have to, of course, bring together is Jeannie and I are also on the Troy Community Coalition. And one of the things we were looking at is, in addition to, having the Speaker Best of the Best series, Food for Thought Excellence, and membership, looking at speakers in August being the membership month, and Sam on Rotary Foundation having speakers in November. And then Anna has agreed to every 5th Saturday as a service project day. So instead of just coming together as a meeting, go to a service project area or some other activity outside of the club. Jeannie and I also have talked about visiting each of the places of worship of the 7 religions in the world, whether it's a church or a mosque or a temple or a synagogue or any one of those. Just wanted to get, what are you guys thinking? Any input on that? You think it's something?
Roma, Bala, I'll tell you what we did in West Bloomfield Club. I was member there for 6 years in 2000. And what we did was actually we invited a speaker on each religion. We had 5 speakers every month. We had different religious guys speak. Catholic, Indian, Muslim. So that's a great idea, I can tell you. That's a very good idea. Either visit them or invite them as a speaker to the club. Either way.
I'm thinking both.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I like that. And I had some experience with that idea before.
So I think that can go into the speaker best of best series. Community outreach to me was, in addition to reaching out to the religious organizations, but to the other social organizations that make up the community, right? You said the Coalition, Chamber of Commerce, you go to the events, there's City Council. So there are different community organizations, which the reason I recommended Jeannie Bala was because she's got lead into some of those already, as well as Kamal and Ashok do.
Okay, if that is the case, why don't we put a number of 5 and that will include all those organizations?
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
But the rest, I think you need to, sorry, go ahead.
Just give an example. I'm in touch with one doctor. She was running for city council. And she has young kids in Troy. I'm in touch with her. Maybe I'll bring her a speaker from Afro-American community. So that may be something to think about, to bring as a speaker or something. She has young kids in the area. And I think she lost the election very, very small margin. I had a fundraising and everything for her last year. So that's a great idea to add that.
So just make sure you coordinate with Dan, though, Ashok, for that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because again, community outreach is reaching into the organizations and connecting with them. But anybody that you're bringing in as a speaker has to be coordinated with a speaker lead.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Online presence. Typically, the online presence as defined by RI is how many times in a year are you going to update different things, whether it's a website or a Facebook or how many tweets. So for now, without having further discussions or unless somebody wants to, I would say at least twice a month. Michael, I'm leaning towards you because you are kind of the, I'm not saying that you're going to the lead, but at least leaning towards is twice a month a good measure, because we are already doing it, right? We are doing more than twice a month.
I think twice a month is good. There are times where it's maybe once a week would be more appropriate, but it all depends on what the club, what this team, and what the board wants to do. If there's more things that we want to put out, then by all means we can. I think it's just a matter of a coordination of what messages we want to share, right? And and again, I'm not very good at creating that message, but I'm doing okay as formatting it for our website. So I think
come on, you're doing a great job, Michael. You're doing a great job. So,
to me, online presence is the number of hits and clicks that you get through on your websites, whether it's Club Runner or whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media we're using. And I thought Jay Greenwood did a really good job last year in keeping track of clicks and having people go in and like the pages and the use of the pages.
Well, and this
that's how I measure it.
This is Dan. I'll just chime in a little bit. And I know this is one of those topics that it's always hard because you're putting it on somebody to do it more often than a couple times a month. But I think to Michael's point, you know, there will be times that if we've got a speaker coming in or we've got something that we're doing, you know, let's call it what it is, especially if we're trying to reach I know a few people have said we want to spread our engagement and reach more people for membership, especially if we're trying to reach the younger demographic. Let's call it what it is. Social media is everything for them. So I think continuing to put out as we are doing positive things in the community or as exciting events are coming up, I think that's where we really are going to reach people, and especially with speakers as well. I think speakers, you know, the one thing, if we can give them a platform to say, hey, listen, we're going to advertise to people that you're speaking, that's a big thing for them, because anytime you're asking somebody to come in and speak, they're obviously looking for some type of publication or some type of media reach for them to push out to others. So, you know, again, I think to Michael's point, you know, more isn't always more, but more quality over quantity. But if it's quality, let's push it out there, and let's not necessarily limit it to 2 times a month. You know, there may be times that it's more relevant to do it more than that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. My thought though is to measure it. I think so. Michael is only doing the club runner piece of it, the website piece of it. The Facebook page, it's kind of like whoever gets to it. And I noticed recently it's kind of been haphazard. Sometimes the speakers are up there, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's an event, sometimes it's just a notice. We need an ownership for the Facebook page as well. And my thought was, I forgot the new gentleman that joined the club recently with Jacob, but isn't he kind of like an IT guru as well?
No, he is not stepped up to it.
But we need an ownership for the Facebook page so that it doesn't fall behind, and it's because people looking at Facebook all the time. At least our age club members are looking at Facebook. So that's kind of the presence that I was thinking, as well as the club runner piece.
Roma, you hit it on the head a little bit with that comment that, yeah, people use Facebook, and especially our club members, but I don't think we have presence on other social media platforms. Two big ones, probably Instagram and Twitter, which would help us with our young professionals, right? So I think exploring avenues to start, and you can post across platforms now, right? So
right.
So Twitter and Instagram, Instagram and Facebook are hand in hand mostly, right? And
yeah, and there's a third
and guys,
one too.
Definitely don't rule out LinkedIn either, because LinkedIn, when you're trying to reach business people, that's a big one. You know, so again, if I'm a business person, I'm a part of, you know, what Rotary's doing, I'm going to push that out. And especially, if you're getting a speaker and you put something like that on LinkedIn, it always helps somebody's social media presence.
So we definitely need to find someone who can either manage across the platforms or at least, you know, maybe split it up.
Do we always put our meetings out on Facebook Live?
No.
So that people have an opportunity to see it that way?
Ask Bala. I thought we did.
Not all of them, Linda. Only the Zoom ones recently. And then once or twice he took snippets of our live in-person meetings to put on Facebook Live.
Right. I'm talking about the virtual meetings. Because it's only recently that we've been doing that. And yes, and I know a few things were done before that.
Yeah, and not all of them are on Facebook Live. There's been a couple that we missed because it takes a lot of coordination to put it up there when he's doing it. And he's asked me for help a couple times, but most of them are up there.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, we need to move along here on the updating website and social media. Michael, I will lean on you as to what you should see there as coming up. You still want the same 2 or more per month, or should we combine all of that in one?
I think we lost Michael, maybe.
Maybe I lost Michael.
Sorry, guys, I had to take a quick phone call. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I'm back
no problem. Business always comes first, Michael. So now I was going to say, we have 2 options here, online presence 2 or more per month, or we just combine the whole thing and call it on 2 or more per month, or you want to have a separate line item called update website and social media?
I think that's a good question. From my standpoint right now, I think our goal should be to expand our presence, like as Dan was mentioning earlier. It's not only we should explore LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter. So I think adding other platforms to our online presence would probably get us a broader reach.
So if we do it this way, Michael, are you okay? So if we do it this way, instead of just saying website and social media, if we say online presence and social media, and online includes website, we put it as this way, 2 or more per month.
Yeah.
And then Claire's only doing, is doing the content, not the promotional material, Bella, right?
According to Rotary guidelines on the citation, use of official promotional material either is a yes or a no. So as long as we're using that, it counts as a yes.
I was thinking our promotional material was like a brochure for our club, which needed to be updated, and we've been postponing it since last year because we didn't want to spend the money.
She is going to begin to do the newsletters and bulletins, and then we can build up from there.
Okay.
Okay. Moving along to Rotary Foundation. Annual fund contribution. Dave, you are the expert on this.
Okay, I'm back.
What should we put as a goal there?
Well, I think generally speaking, the goal, and Jane, you can assist me in this. We love to get $100 per Rotarian per year. That fulfills an awful lot of what can be done internationally and through our district grants. And there are a variety of ways of doing that. Polio Plus is a sub-element of that. Jane, what is the district's goal? And you divide that by 50, which is 50 clubs, plus or minus, I know. You give Ann Arbor 50th, and it's a drop in a bucket. You give Mortonville 150th, and that's half their budget.
You have to do it by number of people.
Members, yeah.
Okay.
That's the way.
So annual fund contribution would be $100 per Rotarian. And we will put question marks after Polio Plus, and the group will work on it.
Are we delineating here $100 per person? Does it matter whether the club's giving it or the individual is giving it?
No.
I know it doesn't matter for the citations, but from the standpoint of what we're putting down here, because the past few years, actually I don't think we've done it the past few years, but for a long time, the annual fund has been a line in our budget where it's been about, I think we've used about 10%. So if our budget for the year was 40,000, we send a check for 4,000 to the Rotary Foundation.
Okay.
And that plus what people give on their own has always gotten us over, I believe, the $100 per person.
And 10% of what? Our fundraising?
No, 10%. Well, we have been setting our budget based on whatever the prior year's fundraiser was. So it's a little sticky this year, but if we did a fundraiser, if we did all our fundraisers last year and raised 40,000, then the budget for the year that starts next week would have a line item, $4,000 for the Rotary Foundation.
So a goal here would be 10% of our annual
budget.
But well, budget or fundraising?
Fundraising.
So Bala put in there, not a dollar amount, but 10% of the annual fundraising.
So if we're in the hole, does it come back to us? Minus 10%?
Okay. What about folio plus fund contribution? What should we put?
That has typically been a dollar amount per club set by RI. And I don't know what it is. It's been around 25.
I haven't heard an amount. I know that this year we've given oodle dozens of dollars.
Right.
Like as a district.
Right.
So
it's
just
typically
put down
done
there
1,500 to 2,500 a year per club.
I think that there was a talk of 2,600, but I don't know for sure that's the right number. But
Yeah, I don't know what. Why don't you put their RI goal and we'll find out, Paula.
This is above and beyond the annual fund contribution?
Correct.
Generally it is.
No.
What did you say, Don?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay, moving along to service projects. Anna said she would like to do 20 service projects.
Okay.
Anna would use what?
20.
A year?
Yes.
Or over the next 5 years?
20 projects.
20 for this coming year.
So 5 of those would be Hope Warming Center, right?
I don't know how she came up with that, but she said something about, Michael, you probably know how she came up with that. She said it was 18 this year.
Well,
I thought her goal was to reduce.
How about this? Why don't we put 20 with a question mark?
Well, we doing blessings next year? Isn't that once a month?
We are doing blessings and it is actually once a month. So actually 8 months is about what it comes down to.
Does that count as 8 service projects or 1 service project?
I don't know how she's planning to count that.
I would think it would be repeats if she's looking at 20, just what I.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what if we put as 20 with a question mark and move forward? She's not here.
And Hope Warming Center was 5 months this year, but one of those we simply dropped the food off as opposed to doing this full serving.
Okay.
That counts.
Exactly.
I count it.
Yeah.
We got extra points for dropping it off at the porch instead of coming in and sharing our germs.
Good. Yeah. And, you know, however Anna defines and her committee defines is what counts. So let's say 20 question mark and let her give an opportunity to come up with what the plan looks like, right? Okay.
Yes.
Leadership development participation. How many members we think we can engage in this participation?
Well, I think we can engage, you know, I virtually the entire club. I'm thinking about 4 programs a year.
Okay.
And if you look at, not right this second, but if everybody get out the current edition of the Rotarian, the June edition, and look at pages 16 and 17. There's over 80 courses that RI offers now online.
Okay.
And they are, you could almost use them for everything we have on this list.
Okay.
So, and some of them have really nothing to do with Rotary. It's about becoming, for instance, I'll just read you a real short one here. Becoming an effective facilitator. Develop your leadership skills for Rotary and beyond through this course, which guides you on how to effectively work with a team to define and achieve objectives. Now, that just seems like it'd be a really great course, especially for younger members.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, Don, I thought the word was instigator, like what I do.
Right.
I guess I have to change my profile. Facilitator sounds so delightful.
There you go.
So
You are.
So Don, how many do you want to put? Would you like to put here?
Well, I was thinking after, we'll have to have another meeting with Dan and Michael and you, but Larry, I thought we were talking about 4 of these a year.
Okay.
Is that a lunchtime program, Don?
Right.
Is that a
4
lunchtime
programs
thing?
per year. 4 programs per year.
Okay.
Is that a lunchtime program? Like at a lunch
That's what I
meeting?
thought, yes. 1 might not be. 1 might be if we try to have an evening and have spouses involved.
Yeah, I'd be happy doing more than 4 of that because that's the kind of thing that will get people thinking about coming. Because there's something relatively tangible to a professional you could get from that.
Sure.
Exactly.
And an evening event with something to drink and eat would be right up Eileen Heasley's path. She'd love it.
You're taking advantage of the fact that she's not there.
So should we double it this one? What should that number look like?
Number of programs per year?
4 is good.
Yeah, I heard.
I thought 4. Was
Yeah,
what I
4
was
is
thinking.
good.
All
4
right.
is good.
Okay. This one says, how many kids are we going to send to Ryla? Is it 1 or 2?
5.
In the past, we've done 3 to 5. I think we might have done more than that one year.
3 to 5 is the goal.
Right.
Now we're going to have
why don't we say 6? And I think this is an area where you can get individual Rotarians to pay the tuition if it's not in the budget.
All right. Okay. Is there any specific goals in Rotaract or Interact, or should we leave it open?
Because that's new ground, I would suggest you leave it open, and hopefully within a year there might be some real goals.
Sounds like a great plan.
Well, I don't know. I'm all for trying to set at least a goal of some sort so you have something to work for, because it's a 5-year goal, right? Over a 5-year time frame. So it may not be the right goal, but it can be adjusted. But if you don't put something out there, it never really has a push towards it.
You have a Rotary club in your area?
We do not.
Okay.
There is
Never
one
been
at Wayne
successful.
State. There's one at Wayne State, I believe.
There is, and that's the one Dr. Gupta was talking about. Devankar,
Exactly.
he's actually in that one.
That's really the only one around here.
If it's over the next 3 to 5 years, I would suggest, and let me ask, dual 10 members in 3 years. How is that? The dual 10 members is the model that Livingston Sunrise is using, where they're a member of the Rotary and the Rotaract, and it's working for them.
Have you thought about a community-based Rotaract? I know a lot of them are university or college-based.
Right, that's another possibility too.
Michael Ball was thinking about that, so I don't know if he still is thinking that direction.
My kids. I would love to, but I think my plate's full, so I support that.
Oh, you don't have one.
Okay.
Gail,
And
would you think that would be something that that would interest you to help with the kids? Because they can reach out to the kids, right?
Possibly. My kids go to OU, and Tessa checked it. They don't have a Rotary. They did used to, right? I think they did years ago. They don't have one.
yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, they can go to OU and we can have reach out there.
I think in the spring they do a big club. Doesn't all the clubs get together on the grounds, and you can like they have like a big thing in the fall. I don't know how they're gonna do it this year, but all the different clubs at the university that you can participate in different businesses.
Yeah, I think they have like club fairs as it is.
So
Kind of going back a little bit, I'd be willing to help Anna on service projects if you want to put me there by Anna.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Gail. So while we were talking, I added two things. One is interact. I said 1 in 3 years, and let's see how that turns out to be. And then I added a Peace Scholarship. By the way, the nice part about Peace Scholarship, the club doesn't have to spend a single dollar. It's all comes out of our contribution to the foundation, and all we got to do is send 1 or 2 candidates from our community or from our schools. I would say let's reach for 2 candidates. They'll go off to the district level, and then that way we promote Rotary and the scholarships at the community level at the different colleges around the area, and Rotary gets a good, name in front of the community is what I'm thinking. And since Amy is dealing scholarships, I'm going to talk to her on that.
Bala, aren't the Peace Scholarships of the master's program, or is that a different?
No, that is the one, correct.
I think that should go up under foundation, Bala.
Pardon me?
That should go up under Rotary Foundation.
Oh, okay, we can do that. There's a Peace Scholarship and the Global Grant Scholarships.
Right, same.
Yeah, I thought
our club has a long history of supporting these folks.
Yeah.
What is the Peace Scholarship? I'm not aware of that. The Peace Scholarship?
Yes, a Peace Scholarship is one. Rotary is running peace institutes all over the world. So candidates can apply for that scholarship going on the Rotary website, and we'll have a program on that some other day over a couple of years. And then the cycle actually starts in July. In fact, we just selected an endorsed candidate. I'm part of this district scholarship committee. Last Saturday, we had a candidate who came all the way from Alexandria, Virginia, and she was interviewed by our district and endorsed as a candidate for final selection. So,
can their family be Rotarians, or they have to be non-Rotarian oriented?
they have to be non-Rotarian, just like me when I was when I applied for the Rotary Foundation scholarship.
So, like their family, mom, dad can't be in Rotary?
No.
Okay.
And
question, Linda, some time ago, I think it came from you. There was something about a virtual hosting or virtual.
Right. That was the exchange students that come from wherever it is, and they were saying they were going to try and do it virtually this summer. But usually, I know we had one last summer who came and talked, and she was just about on the way to go and visit a South American country, and somebody had been up from that same country to visit them. But that was a real time as opposed to a virtual thing.
Are they still going to do something like that virtually?
I haven't heard any more after I sent that information to you.
So I heard Sparky the other day say something about that, and he also mentioned it in our meeting yesterday that they stopped people going across borders, so they are doing everything virtually. He's got an exchange student that should have gone back 2 months ago, I believe,
Right.
or 3 months ago.
Right.
And Liz is still with them, their exchange student from Brazil. So he
Right.
did mention the other day when we were talking that we're doing something virtually. Now, whether it's on a regular basis, I don't know. Jane, are you aware?
No, I don't know about that.
The Central State Youth Exchange, everything is inbound and outbound is canceled for the time being, and they will
Yes.
revisit that sometime later in fall.
Yeah, but they are still doing virtual, Bala, I think, is the point.
Yes. But we were talking about actually sending students inbound or outbound.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question for Bala. It has to do with membership as a Rotaract, which is generally a college person getting involved with Rotary. Does that disqualify them for a global grant?
Yes, I think
For a
it does.
global scholarship thing?
With a Peace Scholar, I think it does, because you can't be a Rotarian.
Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, that's the one drawback. All right, Don? You know about
I
that?
believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
sure.
think that's correct.
Well, you know what? I'll put a different perspective on that. Having received the Rotary Foundation scholarship, if that was not disqualified or was not there, I would never be able to receive a scholarship from the Rotary Foundation. Because Rotarians would have the first choice to having their kids or the Rotaractors or whoever.
Exactly.
And the people who are never connected with, and I should thank my parents for not joining Rotary, or my brother or sister or whoever. Of course, they could not even afford, forget about joining. In India, you cannot even afford that. So that takes care of that.
And my understanding is that those scholarships are quite competitive. So Bala's right. If you put all of the candidates that already have preference, it's a lot harder.
There's 50 for the short-term spots and 50 for the long-term program.
Right.
That's big. I mean, if your district is awarded one of those candidates is awarded, that's very, very competitive.
So just to put that in perspective, the first year I applied, there were 63 clubs in the district, and there were 3 per club, close to almost 180 candidates applied. One was selected, the second was the backup. I did not make either of those slots. The second year I again applied, I was able to make the slot, but there was still same level of competition. So the competition, especially in the Indian Rotary context and other countries, is much, much bigger than what we would ever have that in here. And that's why I want to make sure that our club takes a lot more interest in this Peace Scholarship and Global Grant Scholarship, that we should promote from within our community or in this state, rather than, I'm not saying Rotary is global, but why not promote our own community candidates and then have them, because a lot of people are not even aware of it.
Yes, I think that there is a great need for more marketing, information sharing, and so on. I don't know how many people will be interested after they hear about it, but if they don't hear about it, I know they're not going to be interested.
Yeah.
So Dr. Ludi, since you have been a great teacher, not only here at Country Day, but also Alma College, can we add you as a co-chair with Amy?
I will be happy to help with that. Yeah, I can help Amy with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. So we are done with the goals. We are done with the members assigned. I was going to ask our facilitator, do we still need to do a breakout room, or have we accomplished everything we want to do? Because we have still not accomplished how we are going to do it and what is needed from a resource perspective and when from a timeline.
So quick question before Jane answers that. Are there any other strategic priorities that we should add from the people, from everybody else that's looking at this? Is a club doing something that's not on this list, or planning on doing it that's not on this list? Anything from a financial perspective, Kevin, or that covers under fundraising? You're on mute.
I don't think we need to add anything for that.
Okay. All right, thought I'd just do a sense check. Sorry, Jane, go ahead, please.
I think that you've done a great job in getting the focus here. And members that are assigned, I think you can come and fill in what action steps and where you're going to get the resources and put a deadline on it, I think, individually, or if you want to do another breakout with your team members here, the members assigned, I think that would be probably the best use of time. When I look at phase 4, it basically is how are you going to review? And if you want to talk a little bit about that, I think maybe we can just do it, the whole group, if that's all right, to get more input. Or if you want to do a breakout, it's up to you. If you want to do the separate. Any thoughts?
I suggest the people who have been assigned, the key assigners there, get the teams together or come up with the details. That's my suggestion.
Go on for a while. This is a long process, and this probably are the.
So I'm of the impression that between now and our next meeting, that I'm on 2 of these committees or 2 of these memberships assignments. I want to hold an offline session with them, come up with some actions and resources, and bring it back and summarize it to our group at our next meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the best, most timely way to do it.
I would see.
So I will take care of instigating, oh, there's that word again, facilitating.
So is it organize an offline session?
Yes.
Offline session by each member assigned to a specific goal. Okay, good.
Yep.
Anything else follow up in there?
I want to go back and make sure that one of us who are in these meetings is in each of those categories, because it is up to us, one of us in this strategic planning committee, to execute the next assignment, as I have just suggested for myself, with regard to the Rotary Foundation and fundraising.
So Dave, what you're saying is then, well, not only they come back with the how and the what, but also when.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm looking at the list, and yes, Bala, you're here and you're number 1. Don's here and he's number 2. I'm here and I'm number 3. Roma's here and she's number 4. Michael is here and he's number 5. I'm here and I'm number 6. Gail's here, so she's number 7. Don's here, so he's number 8. I can't see the bottom. I can't see the bottom category 9.
It's you.
9 is Jim Adams, Amy, Ashok, and Sue M.
So if I can interject here, David, I agreed that I would be fundraising chair for next year. So I'm happy to set that up. The public image goal number 5 needs to be led by somebody else, though. I'm happy to be a part of it, but somebody else needs to champion that and lead that.
That's exactly what I wanted to make clear so that we get all categories covered. So we as a group, who's going to cover 5? Claire's not with us. Was she supposed to be with us?
Yeah, I had invited her, but she had not signed up for public image though. She had only signed up for newsletters and bulletins and content, not for public image.
So now somebody has to lead that goal setting discussion. Bala,
but Michael, let me make sure. But Michael, you are okay with if we remove the word public image, if we say website and social media, you're okay with that, right? I just want to make sure. I don't want to kind of put you in a position where, if just because we say it's online presence and social media and show it under public image, it means public image.
I'm okay with the language there. Yeah, that's I'm not concerned about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's just not going to lead the discussion between now and next meeting
Yeah.
for item number 5.
I took off your name, but it's okay to keep your name here. But as long as nobody construes you to a lead public image, you're okay.
Right.
But we need somebody to lead the discussion for Dave's discussion. Marianne, do you feel comfortable with that?
Bala, do you feel comfortable with that?
Oh, there you go.
I am not a good public image person. I will tell you right now.
You're a great leader, but okay. You're another instigator. Oh, there's that word again. I'm sorry. You're a great facilitator.
Marianne, were you going to say something?
Yeah, what I was going to say, Roma, is that is not my strong suit at all, the social media and online stuff. So I don't think I would be a good person to lead a discussion on that. I just don't know enough about it.
Okay. I would recommend you put your name on there for the time being, and then Renee had done some work last year on it. She has some good metrics, the same with Jay Greenwood. But you be the liaison.
I don't want to sign up to something that I'll have to find out somebody, that's all.
Okay, well, somebody who was going to be at this meeting then.
Right. So right now we will not call it a public image, that's all. I agree with Michael.
Okay, we'll call it what you want, but it is public image. Okay, well, we can come back to that. I mean, I would do it, but I can't commit to it between now and then. So.
Okay, all right. Dave, you were saying something earlier. To continue on your.
Well, that number 6, I will be the facilitator for the.
There's that word again coming out of your mouth.
I know. I've said it for many years. That's why it keeps hanging in there. And Gail, are you taking number 7? Is Gail still with us?
Muted.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I'm
okay.
gonna do number 7.
And Don, are you going to lead number 8?
Yes. Yes.
And who's going to lead number 9? Not one of those 4 are here at this meeting. Oh, maybe Ashok, but Gupta is.
Well,
are you still with us?
Let me put it this way, Dave. Number 9 doesn't all have to be done in the same time frame because each one has its own timelines. So RILA participation, Jim has agreed to take it on. Peace Scholarship, it's here twice. I'll remove that. That's Peace and Grant Scholarships are in the Rotary Foundation, as Don had suggested. And that's Amy and Linda. And then Interact is, we'll follow up with Sue.
Oh, okay, I'll take care of that. I'll get
Okay.
Sam, we'll get going.
Okay, good.
Number 6.
Thank you.
So I think Eileen and Marianne, we should put their names because they've been participating as well. So is there something, Marianne, that you want to help lead or co-lead?
Or be a follower.
Or be a follower. Yeah, either way. But just to
You can
give
be
you
a
support
follower,
on it.
get on one of the lists and be a follower.
Did we lose Marianne?
Oh, she's coming back.
Oh.
I'm thinking maybe membership, Roma.
Sounds good. I love it. If you can put Marianne on the membership as well. And I think Eileen probably, what do you guys think, service?
Oh,
she doesn't
yes.
want to lead it, but she will definitely follow it, be part of it.
Yes.
So put Eileen on 7 as well. So I think we've got everybody who's on this meeting and was on last meeting, at least on their names are in there.
So, Bala, you can email that sheet to us as soon as possible.
I will do this tonight. One thing we definitely need to do is here, we need to agree on for each one of these. I'm doing this real time. Specific goals. So we have 3 things here. How, what, and when. So we have to agree on that.
I'm sorry.
When, how, what, and when. If when will drive the other 2. So when do you think we should say a good timeline? Because we need to roll this out to the membership at large.
Well, I wanted at least a week or 2 to facilitate the 2 categories I'm involved with. And then I wanted to come back to a meeting like tonight and give you our summary.
So what should be a date you suggest, Dave, by June 29? Do you think that'll give us enough time?
June 29?
Yes.
That's a Friday or?
June 29th is a Monday.
Monday, okay.
July
right.
2nd. July 2nd is a Thursday.
Yes, that's right. You're right.
So you want to pick July 2nd?
Yeah, I'm going to be around July 2nd.
Okay. All right.
So are we going to have the 25th meeting then? Or we're going to push it to the July 2nd? Just so
Thanks for bringing that up. So we have we had planned our actual strategic plan review on the June 25th, which is a week from Thursday. So Jane is asking the question, are we still on for that, or are we supposed to move that out?
I would think if you're going to get some input and you need some time to do that, I think that a week from today is a little bit pushed.
Well, and
Agreed.
then plus the international convention is in the middle as well,
Agreed.
right up until last.
Agreed. So let me ask you this. Is everybody okay if we push this to July 9th?
Yes.
I think the 9th is a better idea because there will be people that will be involved with family or trips or whatever for 4th of July.
So is everybody in agreement with this timing then?
Yes.
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 Okay, good. I love this group. All right. Jane, I'm going to turn it over to you if you have anything else to add to this phase, the next few slides, or unless somebody else has something to add.
I was just going to make a comment about phase 4. Your goals, strategic plan. You were talking about strategic plan. When do you want to review that? I heard every 2 years. So on the main things that you have brought up in this last exercise, phase 3 that we did, when are you going to review it? When do you need to adjust it? I mean, you don't have to, fundraising, you probably want to look at a little sooner than later, because the money, you want to make sure that you have things, the finances to be able to do the projects and the giving that you plan. Membership, when you want to look at our membership numbers, you want to put out some kind of a tool like a survey. How are we doing? How often do you want to do that? That's what this slide, I think, is all about. And then you can kind of tell, gives you a way to tell how far, what more do we need to do to accomplish the goal. And a lot of these goals are not going to happen in your year, Bala. Some of them may, some of them may not, but there's some pretty ambitious goals here, I must say, and I congratulate you. So I just want to kind of mention this. This might be something that people could also review over the next couple of weeks, if that's okay, and we can take it up on the 9th of July. What do you think?
Yeah, some things need to be reviewed annually just to make sure we are on track, like membership, for example, and like you said, fundraising. So maybe as we're developing the initiatives, we could add that in there and present that.
Yeah, I think that we need a little more time to kind of put all what we've done in this meeting, which was a lot of brain work, I can tell you. At least I felt like my brain has been exercised. And then it gives us a little clear, a breath, a little breathing room to kind of look at what's realistic. Because some things you're gonna want to change. Maybe you want to do it a little more often, depending on the priority. Maybe you don't need to do it as often. So I think this is just a way to see how well you're doing. And some are annually, like Roma said, and some maybe a couple of years, like the strategic plan itself. You don't want to review that every year, I don't think. You might want to look at it every year, but and that's totally up to what your club wants to do. I just want to make sure they're measurable. You have a way to measure the goal, and they're real.
And the strategic plan itself